It says Ukraine to become part of the European Union. No, obviously not NATO, but the European Union, right? It says documents prove this. And he does have an outline to support these particular claims. Ukraine will also become, here's the key thing as far as the connection here, a digital hub. And I believe that as well. I cover this in a deep dive in regards to the New Aid Initiative. That is why they've been flooded with war money. Now, some people, of course, I don't want to get in the whole controversy about Zelensky and so on. I don't know if he's a bad player behind the scenes. I don't know what the case is. That's part of my own research. Again, part of yours and so on. But I will state this. This is really, really huge because I feel as though I could connect the dots, if you will, when it comes to the likes of XLM. This is 2 minutes and 12 seconds. Yeah, it's being presented by a guy dressed like Spider-Man, but that's not the point. Listen to the message and see on your screen what he has for us. 2 minutes, 12 seconds. Then we'll kick it back in the comments. Here we go.
Still loading? Okay. We'll keep going. So here we go. This is what I find. Did it load up? No, it didn't load up. This is what I find very, very intriguing here, folks. So this here is the National Council for Recovery of Ukraine from the consequences of the war. This is a draft Ukraine recovery plan. Now, remember when I said to take note of the EU? I'm going to tie that into this now. Materials of the Digitalization Working Group. This is from July 2022. As we read some of the contents here, stage, the wartime economic and institution, all for the victory. Okay. Short-term activity from June 2022 until the end of 2022. So some of those are development. Here, I'll let you see them. Of public e-services, public e-services. We'll get into that. Institution of development of the DIA centers, DIIA centers. That's these guys right here. They're one of the biggest companies in Ukraine. Development of public electronic registers. Post-war reconstruction of Ukraine's infrastructure is taking place with the help and based on open data. Here is where it gets interesting. Down here. Modernization stage. They already have this whole thing planned out, huh? Structure of modernization and complete integration into the EU. Ukraine will become a part of the EU. I spoke to my buddy today. He's Ukrainian. And I wasn't too sure if Ukraine was part of the EU. I wasn't too sure what they were a part of. But he confirmed to me today that they're not a part of the EU. But according to this sheet here, post-war, Ukraine will be integrated into Ukraine. Ukraine will be integrated into EU. So
again, you combine what he said, and then on top of that, go back. You're welcome to, look into the particular deep dive video. The one that says the New Aid Initiative got over 5,100 views. There's a lot to be said with what's going on with Stellar in specifically the Ukraine. And when I saw that, I was just like, oh boy, really wanted to break it out to you guys and so on. On top of that, we have a little bit more to cover. I think that was the only thing. Oh, we have one more for XLM. So I'm not really a big conspiracy theorist type guy, but when I see things like that, like this, that you're going to see right here, it helps me recognize this is why some of these particular people share this type of content, if you will. Give me a second to share this. So look at this, all right? I'm not saying this is necessarily is or isn't, but it does make you think. It comes from The Economist. I don't know what particular issue this was. Maybe this was a long time ago. I don't know. I wish I could zoom in a little bit more. But look at this. It says, get ready for a world currency. Remember how I said basically that I felt as though if I had to pick one cryptocurrency to become the world currency, if you will, world cryptocurrency, I said it'd be XLM. To me, that would make the most sense, especially when it comes to the, the peer-to-peer payments, right? I'm going to pay Joe, I'm going to pay, Jill, whoever, right? This guy, that guy, you name it. Look at what it says. Let's not forget Stellar, the people's retail network. Great statement. The retail network, right? The retail money, the peer-to-peer. But look at the symbol you have there, right? Literally looks very, very much like Stellar's. Not identical. I'm not trying to, make it be crazy conspiracy. I mean, this right here is dated 2018, if I'm not mistaken, from The Economist. This guy says it's an Atom logo, but okay. But when you look at Atom's, Cosmos, it's not the same. So just throwing that out. And then you compare it to the likes of the Stellar logo. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's not the case, but I did want to point out, I thought it was quite interesting. No, I'm not trying to take a dollar bill and fold it in a way which shows, for instance, the Twin Towers or where the case be, right? Or, look at the top left corner of, the back of the dollar bill. It has the Bohemian Grove owl. No, I'm not saying that. But it does make you wonder when you see some of these things, the timeline and so on. Some of you guys have stated in the past, was this all orchestrated? Was it all planned? And then you put together, for instance, the World Economic Forum, Mr. Klaus Schwab, the Great Reset. I'm just saying, I mean, it definitely makes you want. I'm not saying that this is, I know for a fact, because I don't know for a fact. But if anything, it's really interesting. That is a fact. There's no denying how interesting it is. I mean, I'm going back and forth. Look at that. Look at that. I mean, some people say, well, there's two of them there. I know. I get it. But anyway, glad to share that with you guys.